Welcome to part 51 of Yakuza 0. And before we get started on trying to get the Gambling King started, I ran into this side quest accidentally. This one, by the way, will get you 10,000 yen, and that's all this is good for. However, this is basically trying to reunite a father with a daughter, and that's what's happening here. Because the guy who's standing behind the pole looking at that hostess is thinking that that's his daughter. We all know how Yakuza works. Weird shit and Kamurocho and all, so chances are that may not be, but he has to make sure. Or rather, you have to make sure. So, with that said, we're going to end up having to help him. Bear in mind, this sub-story adds on to completing, well, the CP for completing a good number of stories. Like, for instance, getting 50 or all of them. But whatever the case, the only thing you're going to get towards this side quest is getting 10,000 yen. And any yen helps. Especially since we're going after the Gambling King, and especially since later on, like 3 parts down the line, we're going to be starting to pursue the Media King. Oh God, pursuing the Media King. That's going to be a pain in the ass. Oh boy. Because, yeah, the Media King, his territories are expensive. And more importantly, I would wait for collecting payout before I actually buy the Media Kings. So once we get to that bridge, I'll explain a little bit further. But for right now, we need to worry about the business at hand. There are only a few answers to actually make this side quest complete, but once you get to that point, I'll tell you what's going on. But first off, agree to help him and he'll give you the 10 grand. And that's the only reward you're going to get. And even though I've got 4 million yen, that's gonna be 400 million yen. That's gonna be nothing after this part is over. Because, yeah, that's gonna probably start cutting into the Gambling King's territories. Anyway, Kiryu is going to request a girl named Reika. And I know at first that word of mouth would actually allow such requests. Especially if the hostess is really, really good. But you're going to have to try to divert the conversation and not actually bring up the fact that her father actually told you to come into the store to request her. So what you're going to do, you're going to pick any of the options that's shown up in this first one, because this first multiple choice doesn't matter. Even though she's kind of confused as to why you would know her name, but she doesn't even know you. So, with that said, you can pick anyone, like the staff recommended you, really like the name Reika, heard from you from a friend, doesn't matter which one you pick, but the staff recommended you is probably the best one, even though it's a bull-faced lie. So, with that said, Reika became a hostess at the age of 20. And Misumi's father was divorced from his wife 15 years ago. Now the first thing you want to do is ask, do you have any roommates? And then Reika will say that it's her and her mother. The thing is, her and her mother's in a one-room apartment, and she divorced her father. No, her mother divorced her father since childhood. So just ask your father's not around. And that's the only other option you need to ask. And the thing is, she doesn't remember her father or what he looks like. And her father had failed businesses, which is pretty much what the guy we just got finished talking to just said. So with that said, we ask her to come outside, and of course she's going to meet her father. But then again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Yakuza. And in Yakuza, there is only one long-standing rule. If it's Yakuza, it's gonna be some weird shit. No matter what the city. Well, yeah, just like the weird shit of the cutscene skipping just now. Anyway, the guy you're looking for is coming out, and there he is. And finally, we'll actually see a happy reunion. Or at least we think, until finally, well, Misumi is having he's having second thoughts because he's nervous and he doesn't actually know about it's more along the lines of he's too ashamed of the fact that he hasn't seen his daughter for 15 years. So, with that said, let's hope that we actually got the right girl. Oh wait, never mind. This is Yakuza and weird shit is going to happen. So with that said, he basically was regretting everything that has happened. And when he finally sees his daughter's face, he thought that it's Natsumi, but unfortunately, it's not. She may have the same circumstances, but Reika's real name is literally Reika. And now, things is a little bit confusing. Little bit as in, the father has the same circumstances as Reika, and Reika has the same circumstances as Natsumi, and now instead of being father and daughter, it's now as host and guest. Kiryu just literally put these two together accidentally. So, with that said, we got a Goddess of the Children amulet. And what that amulet does is reduce the number of enemies crowding you. Meaning, when you go and face off against punks with that amulet on, instead of having 4 or 3 punks coming after you, you only get maybe 2 or 3. That's it. Which can reduce the money quickly. And Kiryu basically not only got a daddy for the poor girl, but a sugar daddy. Hence the name. We just went through a lot of trouble for that, by the way. And now, we're going to have to go through plot in order to get the minigame that is needed for the Gambling King. So with that said, I'm going to keep quiet until the cutscene is over with. So it's back to the empty lot where it all began.
Tachibana. なんでここに？
警察が調べ尽くした現場です。もう真犯人につながるような証拠は残っていませんよ。
分かっている。
うちの情報網を使ってクゼを洗いました。もしクゼがあなたをはめた黒幕であれば、ここでの殺しのために殺し屋を雇ったはずです。ですが、クゼの周りにそういう動きはありませんでした。
どういうことだ？
つまり、あなたに殺しの濡れ衣を着せた黒幕が、おそらくクゼじゃありません。他にいます。
何？
今、私が掴んでいる情報はここまでです。それをあなたにお伝えしようと思いましてね。
そのためだけにあんたはここに？
ええ。ですがご心配なく、私はカムロ町から姿を消しはしません。堂島組がうちの動きに気づくまでもう少し時間がかかると思っていましたが、それでも想定の範囲内です。
その割に小田は淡くってたな。
小田さんにもまだ伝えてないことですが、実はこの殻の一粒の所有者を見つけました。
え？
訳あってまだ接触はできていません。ですが、その人物をうちが抑え、殻の一粒を手に入れれば、堂島組は我々に土地を売ってほしいと頭を下げることになる。この土地の価値はそれだけの力を生むんです。ですから桐生さん、あなたにはそれまでの間死なずにいていただきます。無理な相談でしょうか？
殻の一粒の持ち主はいつ抑えられるんだ？
一日ください。ただし他言無用です。たとえ相手が錦山さんや柏木さんであっても。
あんたを今阿波野に売り渡せば、俺は堂島組に狙われずに済むんだがな。
あなたがそういう人なら、私はこんなところにのこのこ顔を出したりしませんよ。明日連絡します。どうかそれまで堂島組から生き延びてください。桐生さん。
And just like that, we'll have to go to sleep and wait for Tachibana. But the thing of the matter is, Chapter 6 is not going to let us go without running into the Dojima clan. But they aren't going to let us go also without running into this guy. The guy in question is Mr. Moneybags. Now, Mr. Moneybags is introduced in this chapter, and while the silent shoes work somewhat well, Mr. Moneybags has a far better ability. By the way, said ability, it would be confetti cash. The cash confetti is the one thing that you can use to make sure that the enemies get off of your case. By the way, you have to use cash confetti to a certain amount in order for you to get completion points. No, I'm not kidding. Oh, and even more so, there is upgrades to how much cash confetti you can use. And even more so, the upgrades make it to where cash confetti will cause, I mean there's only like 3 upgrades total, but the last upgrade, level 3, will have enemies drop items in cash confetti sometimes. So yeah, this is a very useful move. And by the way, Majima will be learning that too, once we get to Chapter 7. So bear that in mind. Also, we're not done with Mr. Moneybags once we actually learn this maneuver. Because Mr. Moneybags is also going to be the ticket in order to open up another side quest, not to mention an actual minigame that might just get my channel age restricted. Well, no, not my channel, but rather this video age restricted. I mean, it's stupid, but you know how YouTube's humans made this algorithm. So with that said, to start things off, you gotta use cash confetti for the first time in order for it to actually continue. And you can use that on citizens, and you can use that on Mafia. You can also use that on Mr. Shakedown. Yeah. Mr. Shakedown, by the way, actually will pick up cash confetti. But bear in mind one thing. The cash confetti will only last for a little bit longer. But if you still are in the vicinity once the goons pick up the cash, they'll still fight you. So bear that in mind. And one more thing. You cannot use cash confetti in battle. Obviously, because you're in battle. But yeah, this is the one thing to avoid battle, so long as you have the cash to do it. And you will once you defeat the 5 kings. We only got 2 more left to defeat anyway, so bear that in mind. So, on that note, we're gonna have to meet this guy in Vincent. But more importantly, we also are going to take his advice and go to Theater Square, because Theater Square has what we need. So, all you have to do is go to Theater Square and see what he's talking about. And we're going to be doing that since Mr. Moneybags has been defeated. Well, actually completed, really. And once again, we'll have to drop by Vincent later, because because talking to him in Vincent, is very important, as it actually will lead to an ability you'll be getting later. But for right now, let's go to Theater Square, which is right here. And that bum right there, he's going to lead you to possibly one of the easiest ways to make money. And that is, of course, the JCC, the Japanese Catfighting Club. Yep, this is the minigame I'm referring to that may get my channel age restricted, and for good reason. The Catfighting Club, while it's girls beating each other up, it's scantily clad girls beating each other up. So in order for you to get in, make sure you have money first. Then, if you've learned you're obviously going to learn the cash confetti. You have no choice but to do that in order to actually get this activated. But you need money. And if you're at level 2, you need 100, in cash confetti, sorry. If you're at level 2 doing that, or level 3, you'll probably need about 150,000. But whatever the case, all you'll have to do is just throw some cash, and that will make the bum let you in. So, this would probably confuse a lot of players who doesn't know what the guy's talking about, but just do this, and that's all you gotta do. And, with that said, we now have the JCC open. So, the JCC is basically going to be the area where you're going to make a good bit of money. Primarily watching girls beat the hell out of each other. However, you got to participate too. It's more of a rock, scissors, paper format. And you got to pay attention to the stats of the girls for their rock, their scissors, and their paper. The more you bet, the higher your odds. However, the more you tap, the easier it is to probably win, provided that the other player does not have a good stat. If they have a good stat, you're pretty much going to be out of money. But whatever the case, folks, you'll get the money that you dropped back. And with that, the JCC is officially open. But you'll see the JCC in action when I actually get to 60% when I'm facing the Gambling King. Because guess what? That is how you're going to take his stakes. And for the record, this is without a doubt the easiest challenge out of the 5 kings. So with that said, speaking of the Gambling King, let's grab his biggest asset. Oh no, people, no, that's not what I meant. I meant his pachinko hall. That's what I meant, man. The pachinko hall. But whatever the case, we're almost at 30%. So now we're going to have to go back to the building, and we're going to have to probably gain up to 30% on these assets. And that's what we're going to do. So with that said, I'll see you in a little bit once we make it there. And we've made it to 30% after the cash out. So the Gambling King is ready, willing, and able to acknowledge you, but not challenge you just yet. We need 30% more of shares. And he was a former Yakuza, believe it or not. But somehow, someway, he amassed a lot of fortune from high luck. And as a result, he became completely engrossed in money by holding gambling halls and casinos. Primarily because he cheated a lot. But whatever the case, he delved deeper into the casino business as opposed to the Yakuza business. So with that said, he is basically going to be one of your toughest enemies, not enemies. He's not going to be your ally yet, not until you beat him. He's going to be one of your toughest enemies as far as fighting's concerned. But as far as for his 60% challenge, not so much. Oh, and by the way, this cutscene happens when you have successfully eliminated 3 of the kings. And by the way, if you wait till Chapter 6 and take care of the Gambling King before the Electronics King is going to be the one there, not the Gambling King. So there you go. I'm just pointing that out because that actually would have happened if I'd have went after it this way. But for right now, the Gambling King is basically going to be now the easiest one to actually buy out because I'm making enough money to buy out his properties. It's the Media King that's gonna be the prolonged one, considering the amount of shit I have to go through. Oh yeah, and almost forgot the bowling alley. I have that too. But I'll worry about that later. But right now, we need to talk to Kamurocho's Moneybags. Well, Kamurocho, Mr. Moneybags, which is Fukushima. So, the reason we need to talk to him because now we'll have access to giving money to Majima. And while we haven't met Majima yet, we'll be giving money and also items to him later. Well, money now and items later. Particularly if you want to actually make this mission go by real fast. Buy a bunch of slime guns. Have him to send it to Majima. Have Majima empty out his cash. And first have Majima empty out his item bag, put in nothing but slime guns, and go hunting for Mr. Shakedown until you finally have enough for to actually send to Mr. Moneybags to the point where Mr. Moneybags will be completed. Once the friendship in Sotenburi and in Kamurocho is completed, not only will you get a completion point for both of the money bags, but then you'll be able to be you'll be able to freely send whatever you want after you send the 10 million. I mean, yeah, it's a tedious thing, but Kiryu would more than likely be able to send 10 billion more than Majima. And you would actually have to switch between Kiryu and Majima as of Chapter 8. So bear that in mind. Or was it Chapter 7? No, I think it's Chapter 8. So on that note, the friendship only starts once you talk to Mr. Moneybags in Vincent for Kamurocho. Now Sotenburi, I gotta show you where he is there. I mean, Kiryu can rake up a lot of cash easily. It's Majima that's the problem. Because the Cabaret Club, how should I put it? It will only start once Chapter 7 is there. And yeah, you'll be given a free 10 million, but 10 million isn't enough. Not against the not against the 5 czars of Cabaret. So you'll probably have to hunt down Mr. Shakedowns in order to make up the whole entire difference. Yeah. So, with that said, anything you deliver, Mr. Moneybags is going to take his cut. And that's what's going to raise up his friendship. And he's going to take a 10% profit. Now that I stop and think about it, 10% of 10 million is... Oh, Majima's not even going to have enough.
Nani?
But he's going to give you 10 million to start off with. So, the more you build up your friendship with Fukushima, the better. So what you're going to do, you're going to invest 10 million, and then Majima will invest 10 million, then you're going to invest 100 million, and Majima will invest 100 million, then you're going to invest 1 billion, then Majima will invest 1 billion, and then you're going to invest 10 billion and Majima will invest 10 billion. And that's how it's going to work. So basically, Majima's going to have to make up the difference thanks to the fact that... I thought it was 10, it was 15%. He's taking 15%, so yeah, you're going to have to make up the 15% difference by hunting down Mr. Shakedowns. So that's basically how Majima's going to roll. Now let's go over to do some rush training. And we've gotten enough to get the 100,000 course. Because we already got the 10,000 course, I think. Yeah, the 10,000 was the first one. Now we need to get the 100,000, then the million, then the 10 million, and the 100 million. So, for the 100,000 course, unlike before, you're not facing a drunk. You're facing a guy that's sober, and you're facing a guy that actually is a puncher. Timing is everything. So, with that said, same rules apply. However, you do not want to be caught. So let's just evade for 60 seconds. Wait for him to come at you. There you go. He's got a 2-hit combo that once he starts, he can't stop. So long as he doesn't turn and shift to hit you. That has happened to me a lot. But I didn't have enough money to complete the training, which is why I waited this long in order to do so. So yes, this will be our anime training arc. And all we need to do is just avoid this guy and we'll be good to go. Just 20 more seconds. No, the easy part comes in when we go for the 100 million course. 10, 9, 8, 7. Oh, that was close. Woo! 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. But serious to God, he actually hit me. He actually hit me and the game didn't count. Okay, whatever. At least I got it. And didn't waste $100,000. 100,000 yen, sorry. So far, so good. And by getting that, we'll actually end up getting, I think a counter weave or something like that. Hold on, what exactly do we... Yeah, we got a damage weaving. So when you get hit, you can actually weave the second hit. Or you could just weave the first hit, whichever one comes first. So by doing so, we got 150,000 1,000 yen back, because he took half of what we put in for the bid. So with that said, I'm going to leave because the payout has came in and we're going to have to collect it. So we'll be back for that. And now we're back, and now we're going to go after the 1 million course. Okay, 1 million course is going to get a little bit tougher here, folks. Wait, I thought the first one was a boxer. No, this is the boxer right here. The first one is a guy with a 2-hit combo that was flailing recklessly. Yeah, that's why I waited to Chapter 6 to deal with this guy. So, with that said, we're going to finish Rush today. Now, the next one, again, he's going to have a 3-hit combo, but the difference is, his 3-hit combo, he's going to be just standing in one spot. So all you have to do is run around in circles and avoid him. Don't try to do any fancy dashing fancy dodging unless you have to. So, with that said, this guy right here is going to try to punch you. So on that note, just try to run from the fat enemy that will probably be taking up most of the arena space, because you're going to be surrounded by people. Alright. He's going to have a 3-hit combo. Sometimes he'll throw an uppercut. Sometimes he will throw a cross. So, keep in mind for what he's about to do. 1, 2, 3. That's what he's going to be doing. Because once he once you start with the punch, he can't stop. At least you won't have to worry about actually getting hit with a third punch unless you're still in the way. So, as it stands, he is going to try to trick you by throwing an uppercut, so bear that in mind. I know he's going to do that somewhere along the line. He also was going to throw a hard hook. And I guess that's all he's going to do. This is a 3-hit punch combo. Okay. Well, then I'll just wait for the last 10 seconds. Come on. Come on. 3, 2, 1, and he is done. He didn't throw the uppercut this time. Normally he would. Funny that. So, see ya again, because guess what? He's going to be coming back a little bit later. And with that, we ended up earning 1.5 million yen for that Punch-Out artist. So, on that note, we ended up getting Regard 1. Floating Regard 1. I mean, we already learned Regard, but we're going to get Floating Regard. What Floating Regard does is when you get hit really hard, you pretty much regard, and you could try to use any of your counter attacks you learn later on. So this is the 10 million course, which you will learn that said counter attack. So, what you need to do for this one is watch your enemy's movements and dodge. Dodge as far out of the way as humanly possible, because this next battle, it is by far the hardest of the entirety of the training. So on that note, we're gonna have to wait for our guest to show up. And it turns out he's here. So, since the stakes are pretty high and they're gonna ante up 10 million, needless to say, we're gonna have to dodge like there's no tomorrow, because this guy, he's coming in with a katana, and yeah, this is gonna suck. Because again, any hit you take in this Punch-Out challenge is damage left over, and if you don't heal, well, guess what? You die. So on that note, I think it's time for us to start dodging like there's no tomorrow. Because after this, it's easier from there. Alright, here we go. Hopefully you've made it this far into the video and not got bored and left, because this is actually important. Do not, under any circumstances, use the lock-on for the katana or anything in Rush. Just keep running around in circles, the enemy will try to swing or sporadically. Thankfully, once this combo starts, the enemy will just follow up, but this is where things get even more hard. That guy is going to use a rushing stab. If he keeps using that, just dodge out of the way. Don't try to be fancy about it. You can use the X button to dodge right at the last minute, and it'll probably gain some heat retention because of the fact that I bought some abilities for that. But if he catches you in a circle, just go the other way. Whatever the case, just keep dodging and keep dodging until finally it reaches down to 0. I mean, yeah, it is going to get hard because he's going to try to close the distance. And normally when he swings like that, he's going to close the distance. And thank God it hit 0 because he fucking hit me. He hit me right there, folks. And with that said, we now walk away with 20 million yen, or should I say 15 million yen, because Komochi's going to take 5 million for himself. And don't worry, we'll be seeing Fat Man again too. You know that guy that we just got finished cleaning out for the 1.5 million in the beginning? And now the Fat Man that we just got finished beating out of 15 million. Now we get the 100 million yen course. So now we have the counter quick step, which, by the way, if you hold on the lock-on feature, you press circle when the enemy is about to attack you, you'll end up right behind him to keep attacking. And I'll probably end up forgetting every single bit of this. And as you can wholeheartedly see, I collected a lot of payments, so yeah, I'm going to probably be buying some territories in the next part. So, it's time for the final part of the training, and that will take care of training all together. Alright.
Hi.
We're gonna have to prepare ourselves for probably the easiest 100 million we're gonna ever make. I mean, we're gonna spend 100 million, but we're gonna get 2 million back. I mean, we're gonna get double that back. Yes, double, because ironically enough, this guy is gonna show up and it's gonna put 100 million in a pot, and he's coming with a weapon again. Only the difference is, the weapon in question is not a sword or a blade. It's a gun. On that note,
Hi.
we are pretty much gonna have to be careful with this guy. Or at least so you think. The reason why this is the easiest is you do not have to win. All you have to basically do is get shot, and that's basically the end of this training session. But if you want to dodge, by all means. He's going to try to do a kick, roll back, and dodge. And then he'll do 2 shots. And since he hit me, well, that's the end of that. If he wouldn't have, I probably would have survived. But since he's locked on and aimed at me, no matter what I did, I would have probably been shot anyway. So, now we're gonna have to fight off against the guys we just got finished. Well, the guy actually. Oh, I thought we would have saw the fat enemy, but actually he brought in some Yakuza goons. So now we're gonna have to fight against all 4 of these guys. And he is going to get his revenge for the fact that he made his ancient mystical sword look like crap. So with that said, prepare yourselves for 4-on-1. And no, you cannot use weapons. But before I do, I gotta give you something to drink. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. You know how it is. Seasonal allergies, that sort of thing. But whatever the case, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get ready to take on these guys, and you're going to come in with an actual secret weapon, which is called Essence of Relentless Barrage. What that is not only a counter, but it's a counter if you're at full heat. It's obviously heat action, by the way. If you dodge at least 3 times with the weave, as soon as you see the prompt, press triangle near a frightened enemy, and you can just beat the high holy hell out of them. Essence of Relentless Barrage only works when the enemy's afraid of you. And unfortunately, that's not going to be the case here. However, there are going to be some counters that you can buy from the abilities alone. But another thing that needs to be said, you're going to have 3 guys to deal with. One is, by the way, Abe, which is the big fat guy that has, actually no, that's the red guy. Kabu is another guy, and by the way, you can heal yourself too. Don't worry about it. It's not like, Komeki's training, or was it, yeah, it was Komeki's training where you couldn't use items. Oh wait, let me rephrase it. I thought it was not Komeki, I meant the, Bing Hu's trading, where you couldn't use items with Majima. Here you can. So, with that said, don't be afraid to use items when you're getting your ass kicked. Just gotta make yourself an opening. And, oh! Wow, I just got hit with the sling blade. I should have ducked that shit. And, I'm getting completely manhandled here. Maybe I should use some weaving and bobbing too. Okay, they are not letting me block here. This is ridiculous. But yeah, you got 2 people with big... Oh, ouch. I was about to say 2 people with big health bars. We took care of the big one, and now this guy right here is the only one left. Seriously, that guy just DDT'd me for no reason, and I can't get a weapon. Alright. Oh, I have a whole bunch of Tatsu drinks. God damn it. One of the times I wish I didn't. And what the hell? And here I thought he would be afraid. Oh man, I missed the prompt. There we go. That's what I was looking for. And boom! And now we're done. $13 million from taking out those 3 guys. I mean, million yen, sorry. Not dollars. And now, Kabu is pretty much gone. And he's taking all of his beat-up henchmen with him. And as an end result, we're going to walk away with 200 million yen. So,
Yeah.
that means we're done with the rush training. Yeah, having 200 million yen is awesome and all, but, considering what we're going to be buying from the Gambling King, that's actually a small drop in the bucket. Just saying. And God forbid, the Media King. So, we just earned a total of 10 billion yen and got a character, a completion point. Why did I just say character point? I meant a completion point. But eventually, we'll get enough to actually have infinite run, which is something that we wish that we had. But Kamuji is going to take the 5 million that he has made, and is going to make a living for himself. And thankfully, that'll be the last time we have to do any training for Kiryu. And we learned all of Kiryu's learnable moves and got a completion point, goddammit. But in the next episode, we're going to reach 60% and take on the Gambling King's challenge. I'll see you guys in the next part.